Charlotte de Winter, your book is called The Keykeeper. Tell me about it.
Well, it's a very, very exciting, sexy murder mystery, really.
Who gets murdered?
Oh, a lot of people. I have a lot of people in my past who I think I wanted to get rid of. So it's a lot of people who get murdered. But actually, the first person who gets murdered is an English scientist. Because the book plays in England and the whole series, it's a series of 3 books. And it plays in England and Scotland in current times. And I love my book. It's great.
And what's the genre of the book? Is it just a murder mystery or is it something more?
It's a combination of genres. It's we call it a fantasy thriller, and the thriller aspect is, of course, because a lot of people get murdered, and it's exciting. Who's done it? It's an who's done it. But my main character is a young Scottish homicide detective, and he needs to figure out who's done it. So it's thriller, almost detective-like. But unfortunately, well, for him, unfortunately, he has received supernatural powers, which he actually despises. He doesn't want them. He doesn't know where they come from. He doesn't want them. He doesn't use them. He ignores them. But of course, during the murder investigation, he gets confronted with a criminal, as you do in a murder investigation. And that criminal has the same powers, but uses them. So
What kind of powers are we talking about?
well, I want to spoil too many, but one of the powers is that you can actually sort of telepathically enter someone's brain, see memories, hear thoughts, and even if you want to, you can put a thought in there. So you can influence people. So somewhere in the book, the book's not about it, but somewhere in the book I imply that maybe history was changed because of people entering certain politicians' minds, perhaps.
Intriguing, intriguing. Now, this is the first book that is translated into English. You have this is a trilogy, right?
It is. It is. It's well for me. A trilogy is a book 1, 2, and 3 that goes on. You know, the story goes on. It's actually a series of 3 books, but each book has its own murder mystery. So
And you read them also out of order, or
well, I wouldn't suggest that because you need the main character, which is Finlay Reed, that Scottish detective. You want to get to know him first. You want to get to know what kind of powers he has. You want to get to know the villain and the other persons around there. And they come back in book 2 and book 3. So yes, in principle, you could read book 2 first. Some people even try it because book 1 is in England and book 2 is in Scotland. So some people just love Scotland and they say, we want to start there. But
what I immediately want to know is you are a Dutch author. You write also for a Dutch audience. Why your love for England and Scotland?
oh well, you know, I don't believe in the things I write about, like supernatural powers. But if it happens, I must have lived there before. I must have. England is the country of my heart, and then England's more even in Scotland. But the United Kingdom is the country of my heart. I just, you know, as soon as I come there, my blood starts to sing.
What do you like about it?
It's nature, culture, but especially because it's such a magical country. You know, I mean, it's not even far thought that this could happen. And actually, my first impression, my first thought about the book was, I think, 10, 50 years ago. I was on holiday in England, and I was on my own, and I had rented a cottage in the middle of nowhere. I like that. I have a busy life. I like to be in the middle of nowhere for my relaxation. And I dare to swear that one night I didn't sleep very well in that cottage, which is unusual. And it was like people were whispering in my bedroom. And one night I woke up and I swear there was this young girl standing in my room, looking at me, smiling, very friendly, you know, in a Victorian outfit. Very friendly, but it scared the hell out of me. So the next day I packed my bag and I went.
Seriously.
It was such, was it a dream? Probably, but it didn't feel like a dream. It felt like reality. And I talked to one of the persons there. She said, "Oh, that's well, Maria from 200 years ago."
Just a friendly neighborhood haunting ghost.
And I think somewhere that powerful image stayed with me. And then a couple of years later or before, I can't remember, was, do you know the Highlander film?
Yes.
With Conor McLeod from the Clan McLeod. Well, that made such an impression because in there he is killed, stands up, and goes on. So I think not consciously, but somewhere in my unconscious, all those things together, and became this book.
That's amazing. How long did it take you to write this first sequence of books?
Oh well, I'm not quite sure if my publisher wants to hear this, but I wrote the first book in 6 weeks.
Wow, that's impressive.
It was, I was on the edge of a burnout, so I took a sabbatical, and I just sat on a bench in a forest, relaxing, and I thought, I'll give up my job. I had my own company. I'll give it up, see what comes up, and then suddenly this scene came up, which was actually amazing, and I thought, oh, that's nice. There should be a story written about that. And I just rushed home, opened my laptop, and 6 months later, I had a book. It was a rough version, I admit, and it took me a year and a half to edit it and edit it and edit it.
But still, the story was apparently all of a sudden was there and needed to be written.
I never thought of it before. You have people that actually say, I want to write a book. Their entire life, they say, I want to write a book. I never had that. I was making a career. I wanted to be Career Woman of the Year. And I was busy with lots of other things. But then that burnout, then, stop working, stop running, stop the rat race. And I sat down and this other part of my brain, is that it?
Yeah.
Just opened up something and this story came out. I loved it.
That's quite amazing that the writing process itself or the creative process has also changed you on a very fundamental level.
It did, because it more or less confirmed that I had to stop with the jobs I had, working 70, 80 hours a week. I didn't want that anymore.
What does your life as an author, how does that differ from, or I mean, how does it enrich your life in a different way than the life that you were aiming for before that?
Well, the life I was aiming for was very satisfactory. I was successful in my work, met a lot of interesting people, loved that as well, but long hours, a lot of financial risks and difficulties. So it was demanding. I don't mind demanding. I mean, if you want to make a career, you need to accept demanding. This is an entire different way of life, demanding as well, because the main demand actually is my characters keep talking to me. Even worse, my characters go their own way and I just run after them. It's like, I don't want you to go there. I thought you were going that place. And they just go on and ignore me. So, but it's given me freedom. It's given me freedom to sit down on that bench with my laptop, yes, and write and write. And it's such a magical world I'm in now. I even moved house because I lived in a city. Didn't fit my life anymore. So now I have this cabin in the woods. Just me and my cat, cabin in the woods. And the stories just come out and out and out. I mean, number 3 is being published as we are. Number 4 is being written. Number 5, 6, 7 will be written in next years. I love my life at this moment. I mean, I get to kill people, which is fun. I get to work with characters I like, some I hate, which is fun too. It's such a magical world I am now.
Now that these books have been out there for a while, you get also reactions. You get to meet on events like this one, you get to meet the readers of your book.
Yeah.
What are things that they tell you that stay with you?
Well, the main thing I think is that I write blogs as well, in Dutch.
Yes, I actually read them all. It's your whole writing process from the first story until the last page. It was fascinating.
It was fun as well because, you bump into a lot of things you never expect as an author. And it was fun. And what my last blog was actually me cheering up because book 3 is ready. Book 3 is the end of a series. And now I have to say goodbye to the people I lived with for many years. And I thought I was the only one. But so many readers said, no, we're going to cry too. We're going to hate it that we're not going to know how it's going, how they continue their life or their lives in this. And that was so amazing that you actually, I mean, how did I do that? That I actually touched people, that people actually said, we're coming to Castlefest. We don't like fantasy festivals. We're coming to Castlefest because your book 3 is out. We want it. It's amazing.
It is so interesting that the magic that you experienced yourself on your little bench in the woods appears to be contagious and it multiplies when you share it.
Yes, yes. I think, of course, let's be honest, you have to like this kind of genre, you have to like thrillers and detectives and current worlds. I'm in a stand with people who write about dragons and other worlds, not me. So if you really, really like fantasy, you're not going to like this. But people are so surprised when they read this because they like it. And, I put a little bit of fun in it as well because I lived in England for quite a while. So I know all their habits and their quirkinesses and everything. And everything, when it gets too exciting, I'll just drop in some humor, like British houses where they have carpet in the bathroom and things like that. So how do you eat a scone in English? Do you put the clotted cream on first or the jam? Well, there's a lot of discussion about that. And
I can sense a flame war going on in the comments right now because what is the right way? What is the right order? Well, let me ask you, just to fuel the discussions, how do you prepare your scones?
I'm sorry to offend all the people from Devon, but I'm the Cornish way. I put my jam first and clotted cream on top.
Leave a comment.
And how do you drink your tea? Are you a tiff or a miff? Which means actually, which is for an outsider like me, was quite ridiculous to hear from Veers. But do you put your tea in first and then the milk? Or do you put your milk in first and then the tea? Because in England, everybody drinks their tea with milk. So that, things like that. That's funny. I like that. I love the British, of course.
And then communicating those kind of things in your blog also humanizes you and makes you more relatable as an author.
I think that helps. Because I make them. I take the Mickey out of myself sometimes, which makes me approachable. Yeah, and I think that really works. And well, you can see that obviously. I'm very enthusiastic about my own books. People see the glimmer in my eyes if I talk about my characters. They get enthusiastic because I am, and they give it a try, and that's, I think, a good thing because I'm an unknown author yet. Just be sure. A couple of weeks ago, Heroes Dutch Comic Con, Utrecht. That Scottish actor David Tennant. Yeah. Well, Doctor Who, of course, for many. I met him. He's my favorite as well. I had a photo shoot, and it was supposed to be 10 seconds. I took a minute, gave him the Keykeeper, and I said, if the BBC or Netflix, I don't care which one, if they call, I want you to play Finlay Reed. And he was very nice. And he said, sure, I'm looking forward to it. But the thing is, I dream big as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll have a dream where you wake up in the middle of the night and he's standing next to your bed in Victorian outfit.
Then he would be dead. That would be terrible. Honestly, I can imagine a lot of people dead. I don't want them at my bed, but
Well, maybe it's just like a Doctor Who appearance. Or
that's fine then. Okay.
you have a TARDIS in the corner of your room and he just tells you, hey, I've been to the future. You have a Netflix series.
I can handle that. Thank you. Yeah, I will accept that.
So to summarize, if you're an author, dare to dream big. And in your case, you did what a lot of people probably wouldn't have dared. And it's just, if you feel a calling, follow it. stop what you're doing, what's not making you happy.
Change your life, turn that corner. It needs guts. I'm not married. I don't have a husband. If I don't make an income, there's no income there. I sold my house just to get the money to get the cabin in the woods. It evolves.
But the future is for the brave and the bold.
Yeah, I think so. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
I can totally tell. Thank you so much and all the best. And please let me know when David Tennant is going to play in your story.
Oh, I will. I will. Thank you very much for this interview. Love it.